Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career 3D artist known as Stuz0r. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at this amidst vibrance of the scene at hand. We're also going to explore influences of science fiction and fantasy. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, of course, we're struck by the immense vibrance and energy of the work at hand. Your first impression is likely one of shock due to both the surreal scale and, of course, energy of the work at hand here. And so in the realm of regions, we see, two main regions, right, for analysis, of course, split by this massive wall here. We see this, of course, it trains the eye and kind of frames our attention on one side versus another here. And so another thing you may notice is how there's kind of this noxious or toxic haze, which just permeates every pixel of this priceless piece here. This aesthetic feels dark and daunting. Of course, not dark in the realm of light, but dark in the sense that it is dangerous, it is toxic, and we don't know exactly what's going on here. And another thing you may notice is the impact of texture. We see this quite clearly, right? We see this everywhere from the rather rough rocks to the massive wall facing here, of course, all of which immerse us within the scene just so well. And another thing you may notice is the impact of color. Of course, colors within this composition consist of a green, a yellow, and a bit of orange as well. But regardless of that, they all kind of blend together. They really focus the impact of form here. There is no doubt about that. And the intensity of light is surely a definitive element of the display at hand. It permeates every pixel of this piece, and it just possesses this piece with a vivid visual energy that is just second to none. There is no doubt about that. And so the setting of this work is rather hard to pin down, right? Feels like if we're standing on another planet of some kind or another, a very foreign state. There is no doubt about that. We see this, right? You see a kind of surreal, massive, brutal wall here. There is no doubt about that. We see these strange rocks, but I would say the strangest element of this work is this intensity of light and the colors within this composition. That makes us feel as if we're just on another planet, and it's just so foreign to what we're used to. There is no doubt about that. Kind of an alien planet, if you will, or definitely another world far beyond. And so far within this work, we see, the faint silhouette of two main subjects here, and we can take their kind of size and infer just how grand this scene is. It is massive. The scale just dwarfs us instantly. There is no doubt about that. And whenever we look at a sense of grand scale, that just gives a testament to the scene at hand. Of course, imagine just how massive this brutalist and monumental wall would be. It's hard to say for sure, but there's no doubt that it is just massive in every sense of the word. And so, it's hard to say who or what these two subjects are. We see a much taller subject compared to a much smaller subject. And even, of course, in this work, they are just so tiny. That grand scale is just second to none. And so with this in mind, we see them standing in what appears to be a kind of structure or a shelter of some kind or another, although it's hard to say for sure. And the title of this work is actually Finding a Way. We can take that and maybe infer a bit on the symbolism of the work at hand. Of course, this massive brutalist concrete structure is extremely ordered in comparison to the rather chaotic nature of their surroundings there. So we could say, they're standing within a sense of order or a structure, or even say a compound in comparison to the relentless surroundings of I struggle to say nature because it just seems like another planet, but, we can kind of see that sense of the chaos versus order there. There is no doubt about that. And whenever I was looking at this work, I saw a metaphor, the compound of, say, habit, tradition, and order is really good, especially to fight against the kind of chaotic nights of the unknown. And I kind of see that within the work at hand here. But with this in mind, what do y'all see when you view this piece? I think that's a really interesting question, or even how do you feel when you view this piece? This grand sense of scale, it just dwarfs us, and it leaves an unforgettable and lasting impression on all who stand before it. So, really hope y'all enjoyed today. I see elements of, fantasy and science fiction within this work. And of course, we were talking about a foreign or alien planet, just a entirely other world here. That certainly is an influence of, say, science fiction. We see elements of fantasy as well. It's hard to say for sure, but it feels like we're just in another world. There is no doubt about that. It is just surreal. It is monumental, and it is just foreign in every sense of the word. And so this is a digital rendering, so it was created with a digital rendering program. That program is going to be Cinema 4D, a very professional program that I see see a lot of people choosing, specifically for its use of light, very realistic lighting. And if you're someone who uses Cinema 4D, drop a comment below. Why do you use Cinema 4D in contrast to, say, something like Blender or something like the Unreal Engine? I think that's a pretty interesting question, something I want to learn a bit more about as well. So yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed today. Like I said, we see this monumental impact of the work at hand. Those smallest subjects stand in complete contrast to the grand scale and kind of the chaotic nature of the work at hand. When I first saw this work, the vibrance, the intensity of light, it stuck in my mind, and I just knew I had to study it. So yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, go check out the original artist Stuz0r doing some amazing stuff in the world of 3D art as well as animation. He is always pushing the boundary. There is no doubt about that. But yeah, like I said, if y'all enjoyed today's episode, go check out the original artist. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.